Hi, Lee Farnell here, and welcome to Leading Your Best Life. This topic today really is an important one. It's about being smart, but also being very dumb. Let's talk about being dumb and how that can really make a big difference to how well you lead your best life. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, this topic really came to me because in a couple of coaching sessions in the past week, some very smart people that I'm doing business with and having conversations with and coaching, we're going through two completely different scenarios, although both of them revolved around sales and winning business and getting more revenue on the bottom line. And both times the smart people, Lee, why didn't I see that? How could I have not seen what you've just shown me? Now, I listened to a guy called Sadhguru, and he says the word guru actually comes from a derivation of shining light where there's darkness, putting the torch into the dark corner. Wow, there. In other words, whatever was in the corner was already there. It was always there. You just couldn't see it. And I'm sure you've had the situation where you've had a conversation with someone, all of a sudden the penny drops or the light goes on. And what I realized in the meditation I was doing this morning is that, people make dumb decisions. When I say me or people, I mean me. I mean you. We make dumb decisions. There's actually an article I'm looking at right now. Why smart people make dumb decisions. And I thought long and hard as I was swimming this morning around an acronym for dumb decisions. Now, let me just give you one example. This fellow is about to fly overseas to do a business deal that literally is going to be in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I said, well, if you're going to do that, make sure you go with a contract that they sign on the spot. That, in other words, when you've had the conversation, we talk about taking people through the sales journey, the orange zone, the blue zone, the red zone, the green zone. When you've got people to say, yes, I like the idea, green zone, a piece of paper must come out that they sign. And because they're hot right there and then, don't go, okay, I'll go back and put a proposal together and then you guys can send it back to me, because the buying temperature drops and that gets into the back and forward, and why haven't they got back to me yet? And I'm sure we've all been in that situation. The simple rule, and again, this is not an idea that I've got. Grant Cardone has reminded me of it and shined light. And I went, how obvious is this? Of course, you must have a piece of paper, a contract that they can sign. And we've structured in such a way that the contract, you can make changes to it, but get the commitment in writing. Now, the step beyond that is, we say, get them to transfer money right there and then into your account. In fact, one of my directors of one of my other businesses said, Lee, when I first started my job, I was selling laptops, and I came back to the office with a check, and the boss couldn't believe it. He said, well, how did you get that? I said, well, I just assumed that when they said they wanted to buy the laptop, we wouldn't just leave it with them, that we'd need a check. The client said, well, we haven't got a check. I said, no worries, I'll wait, just get one made out. In the days of checks, of course, now you can get people transferring money. Expectation, presupposition, what you think is going to happen versus it's about decision making and thinking. So I came up with the acronym for dumb decisions. Disabling decisions, disabling thinking of, I didn't even know I should take a contract. What about distractions and delusions? Distractions of jumping to the next silver bullet or doing the thing that's easiest, and then delusion, that won't happen, or that'll never happen, or that couldn't happen to me, or I'm too nice a person for that to happen to. Then D is also destabilizing, where you're destabilizing yourself with your own thinking and your own self-talk. The other one there is data denial. In other words, what are the facts? What's your bank account saying? What's your waistline saying? What's your breathing saying when you're walking up the stairs? Are you in denial of the data that other people can see but you can't see? Then there's you. What are you doing that undermines you? Undermining thinking, self-talk, things you say to yourself, I can't do that, I'd never be able to do that, though that's not possible. That's too hard. Literally, I was talking to the guy last night on the line. I said, I've got this problem, and that's good. It sounds like it's he says, that's not that hard. You just get a person on Upwork to do A, B, C. You just get a person on, that won't be hard at all. Isn't that interesting how it's so easy in your own head? Oh, that's going to be, it's all too hard. No, you need people around you to go, that's not hard at all, mate. Just go do it. In fact, we swam in the ocean this morning, 25 knot westerly winds. And people said, oh, that must have been super hard. It was hard, but it wasn't that hard. It looked harder than it really was. Undermining, disabling, data denial, undermining, unconscious, where you're not even aware of the thinking and the behaviour you're doing, whether it be food you're putting in your mouth, whether it be phone calls you're making or not making, where you're spending time or not spending time, whether you're making a list of actions or not. Undermining, unconscious, and then unconscionable. Because the interesting thing is when you finally see the dumb thinking and the dumb behaviour and the dumb decisions you're making, you go, that was unconscionable. How did I even allow myself to behave or think that way? M is misguided. Misguided, you think you're on the right path, but you're being misguided. And the other M there is money costing, the money that's being wasted, let alone time or energy that's being wasted. And B is blind. You're blind to it. You can't see it until someone shines the torch for you, has the conversation with you. And that's the value of a mentoring or coaching relationship, because it's only working with someone closely, and we call it in an intimate way, on a day-by-day or week-by-week or month-by-month basis, do you start to help the person see, where we start to help you, if you're willing to do it, start to help you see the dumb thinking and the dumb behaviour and the dumb actions and the dumb decisions you're making. Why do smart people make dumb decisions? This guy, Greg Haig, I love the article, it's a ripper, from 2018. Smart people make dumb decisions because of emotion. Emotion clouds their judgment. So one takeaway says extract the emotion, analyse the facts. Extract the emotion, analyse the facts to make a decision now, because even not making a decision now is still a decision. Indecision is still a decision. Putting it off. What's the cost of putting it off? How are things going to be better in a week or 2 weeks or 6 weeks' time? Quantity. Quantity of data influences. We think, I'll get more information. Don't presume quantity of information is quality of information. Recency. Information acquired recently influences our decisions more than information acquired a long time ago. That's true. The recency effect. Takeaway. Don't presume recent advice is decent advice. Just because it's the latest thing someone told you doesn't mean it's the best. We're biased to assume that what we learned today is more accurate than what we learned yesterday. Great point. Often it's not. Friends, even when not asked, friends volunteer advice and knowledge because they want to be helpful, because people care, doesn't mean they know. Oh yes, Tom Hopkins has that saying. Tom Hopkins, the real estate salesperson guru, said, never take advice from anyone more messed up than I am. Never take advice from anyone more messed up than I am. Ray Dalio has what he calls a believability index. In other words, what's the person's background? What's their experience? What's their track record in this particular area? What's their success ratio? In other words, everyone's opinion is not equal. What is their believability index? Takeaway point, don't presume a trusted friend is a knowledgeable friend. What's their track record? Never take advice from anyone more messed up than you are. History. I've got a friend who won't engage in meaningful relationships because her first husband was a loser. That's like a child who won't get back on her bike because she fell and scraped her knee. As I say, don't make broad decisions based on narrow experiences. Oh yes, it's so easy to... Because the brain, the lazy brain, wants to take one example and use that as the generalized rule, versus, well, that's just a sample of one. Where's the sample of 100 here? And who's in the sample anyway? History and sample. Where do you take your data? Where do you take your advice from? Diligence, failure to do our homework. Oh, that's me. too willing to jump in and get into it. I'll just do it. No, what's the cost and consequence of doing it? Again, Ray Dalio and others talk about, risk and consequences. What's the risk? What's the potential and possibility of it going wrong? I think that's in project management. There's a whole tool there that starts to talk about risk and consequence, and you start to work out this is high risk and high probability. Well, why the hell would you do it? Low risk, low probability, start to consider the consequences. The failure to do our homework is the most obvious reason we make bad decisions. So the word due diligence, rather than jumping in, can I talk to 5 people you've done business with recently to actually see what it was like doing business with you? As one of my other mentors, Mel Emery, had said, there are 3 key things in working with people and listening to people, the 3 C's. Character. What's their character? How do you know what someone's character is? Well, go and ask 5 people or 10 people that they've done business or worked with, because people of poor character will have left a trail of destruction and upset people along the way. People of good character will have people raving about them, saying it was great working with them, they were really helpful, they helped me grow, they helped me get results. Character, C. Competency, well, what are they good at? Sales, marketing, finance, weight control, exercise. And the other C is currency. Yeah, okay, that was good. When was the last time they were good at that? Are we talking to someone who was fit in 1982 but since has been unfit for the rest of their life? Are we talking about someone who made money in 1975 but since then went broke 5 times? What is their currency? What's their track record? How current, particularly when you're talking about marketing and business, because the world has changed so much, particularly technology. So do your homework in proportion to the importance of the decision. How good's that? Do your homework in proportion to the importance of the decision. Due diligence. Now, again, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you here. Oh boy, I've made a lot of dumb decisions myself over the years because I haven't done those things. So here we are talking about dumb decisions, smart people making dumb decisions. I hope this helps you. If we're talking about leading your best life, then this is about you making smart decisions using some of these tools that we've just talked about in this podcast. You might want to share this with someone you know. You might want to listen to it again, maybe even give us a call or touch base, and let's talk about, particularly if you're in the area of business, so that you are not making dumb, disabling, unconscious, undermining, misguided, money-costing, blind decisions. Let me help you by shining the light there on you, on your thinking, to help you open up new possibilities, help you realize your full potential. That's what I'm here for. I love helping people realize their full potential. Touch base. I'm Lee Farnell. Thanks for listening to Lead Your Best Life. We'll see you in the next episode.